It's been a while. I'm just doing another build video, and this is a Stanton TSX I'm building with a Foxy Arrow camera. So I've got to sort this out. SM20A ESCs or XM20A ESCs, DOS, MR2205s, not the SE2205s. Integrated PDB with a 5V back, which I'm not going to use, so I'm going to use a eBay variable one. Have a TBS VTX on it. It's going to have a F3 flight control board, D4R2. I'll just show you another couple of builds. I've been busy. So you might remember I did a ZMR build a long time ago, and that was a real thrown together. Flew all right, but it's now 4S. Doubled up the base plate. Put the bespoke 4mm arms on it. These are Cobra motors, which I had a nightmare with because there are quality issues where they drop magnets. The glue's not great. 3 out of 4 went. Told shop, and they sent me 2 more. Electric Wingman's very good. He didn't even moan, ask any questions. Just sent me 2 more. They started dropping magnets, so it's down to Cobra. I've sent Cobra an email. No response. I'm pretty sure they're sure of the issues. But if that happens to you, the best way to do it is to take the motor apart. You have to take the circlip out, take the bell off, and then pop the magnet out with a, or lift it up with a sharp knife like that. And then use the super glue. Didn't work for very long. The best thing I found was araldite, just a tiny blob. Go off overnight and make sure the magnet's in the right place before it goes off. Make sure it ain't grinding, make sure it runs freely. And then you'll have to rebalance it, which you can use a eye seismometer on your phone, or just put it on top and run it through clean flight. Trial and error until it's balanced. It's a little B30 ESCs. I've injected Corrosion X into them. This is a HS1177 camera. Put a switch on here because it's got a minim OSD in there, so that cuts. Because I did have problems with the micro ones, rubbish all over the screen, not working very well. So if the minim starts playing up, I can just cut it. The switch is stuffed up because it's not a great switch. Get a good switch if you do that. It's double pole, double throw. Because you've got to cut the power and the video feed. No good cutting one and not the other. It's a Boss Cam don't know, 600 milliwatt transmitter. These are great. These are the on-way aerials. I've subsequently got Triumph ones because I've beaten a few of these up and repaired them, as you can see. No, it's 32. That was the board that I repaired in another video showing you the lifted tracks. It's got a Maytech 5-in-1 board on it, and don't run this off a bench supply because I did that. And basically it's got a diode on the inline to protect voltage surges, and it nearly caught fire. So not doing it with a battery, but I think with a variable supply it's not a good idea. That is a locator. With the locators, it's worth taking them apart and soldering 2 bits of wire on, because what tends to happen is when you crash, it's only held up by friction and it pops, and the case pops and it's no good. So opened it up, soldered 2 bits of wire so it's got a good connection, and just bound it up with tape. That's pretty much it. It flies really well, all up weight, can't remember, but it's heavy. That's one. This is number 2. This is a QAV-R genuine one, with a Foxy Arrow in there. Messed around with a micro minim OSD. It was a nightmare putting capacitors on it and everything, trying to stop it. It was blacking out, voltage spikes, not much good. So I gave up with that and just drilled the back out of the camera, put the separate wires in to monitor the battery voltage and time. Comes up every 5 seconds. It's not ideal, but it is good enough. Nice 32 rev 6A, get a Rev 6B, because there's a diode missing on the Rev 6A, which means that it beeps if you've got a buzzer connected to it. There's, even if it's through USB. These are really good transmitters. This is an Unway 200 milliwatt, and that just had a little beck on it. So I've got a little, I don't know if you can see in there, one of the little variable eBay job step down transformers DC-DC converter, which is dialed down to 9 volts, which goes to the on-way, so as not to overheat it, and then the on-way's got 5 volts regulator which steps it down to 5 volts to the camera. So everything's on the same loop, no issues. The cable on them is shielded, absolutely no interference at all, really good. It's got the locator beacon on there, D4R2 receiver again. This is the best way I've found of mounting antennas, not up but out like that. Just zip tie gives it a bit of give. That's plastic dip round there. You'll see the whole thing's plastic dipped. I love plastic dip, it's great, stops it getting wet. These are servo shoes just to dampen the flight controller. This is a Banggood PDB with a 5 volt and a 12 volt back, and a separate thing for the video, which worked okay until the capacitor came off and nearly caught fire. So it weren't great, to be honest. It weren't great video signal, but it was good enough. But the capacitor came off, and so now I'm just running it. I'm using the 5 volt back on that for flight control and receiver. The 12 volt side I'm just using for LEDs. These are ZMR LEDs, green ones. They work really well, so they're running off 12 volts. They will go up to 16, but really the idea there is if it shorts, at least it will just take out the back, it won't short the battery. What else? Got a little buzzer, eBay buzzer on there. Got the battery voltage tied up to the buzzer. Emax, the red bottom 2205s, brilliant motors. Got them when the Cobras started blowing up. Haven't messed around at all. In fact, I even had a full head-on collision and bent the bottom bit up, and the motor wouldn't spin. Just stuck something in there, bent it back down. It's been sweet ever since. Can't fault them. I think that's it. That's that build. So, oh yeah, if you do build this, get the little plate for the bottom. It's worth having. You'll see I've actually cracked, it's superficial, cracked one of the arms. And the other thing is, run super glue around the edges to stop the carbon delaminating. But if it's going to crack, that's a bit of zip tie. You see I've glued over there, because that's where it cracks. But it's flown into trees. It's fallen from 50 foot up. It's fine. This is the little 3S Blackout, largely unchanged. It's sitting there feeling sorry for itself since I went 4S, but it's all fine. It's good for video. Back to the latest build. So what I've done, I've stripped down and stripped the heat shrink off the XM20As. I had a couple of mates, these catch fire. I think they were just putting 6-inch tri-blades on them and 6045s on them and taking the piss with them. But anyway, stripped the heat shrink off. The wire that comes on them is barely rated for 20 amps. I'm taking that off and I'm putting some, I think it's 18 AWG wire on there. As you can see there, just up in it. That should help with heat dissipation. Taking the heat shrink off and then putting black heat shrink back on. And then I've drilled some holes in these covers to help a bit. And I'm going to jack them up a little bit as well. Put some double-sided tape on them so there's airflow there. Got the Fox here, so how that works is they don't give you a little black and white twisted pair. You have to drill a hole in the back, or you can put it through the vent and you have to solder on. Because if you don't do that, it monitors the battery and it feeds the battery. You can power them off the LiPo, but I've had a mate blow that up with a voltage spike. So power this off 5 volts or 12 volts, drill the hole and then put the dedicated voltage monitoring in through that. As I say, there is a 5 volt linear back on there, but I don't know what it's good for. MR2205 motors, so I will update this build in due course.